Hello. Hello, welcome to Everyday Ordinary, Extraordinary Women. I am one of your podcast hosts. I'm Martina, and I'm here with Christina, and we are deep divers and avid students of life and powerful facilitators for healing. In real life, I'm a life coach specializing in parent and women empowerment, and I'm also a sound healer.
And I'm an intuitive healer who blends massage therapy and energy work to provide customized holistic services for my clients. We both love to incorporate crystals, essential oils, angelic Reiki, and intuitive guidance into all of our work.
And we were inspired to create this podcast after pondering on this question. What would the world look like where we can be inspired by every person? Usually we are very quick to compare and judge ourselves and others. And when we do that, everybody's losing. So depending on my point of view, I can either feel small because I come out lacking, or arrogant and dismissive because I feel superior. Those are the only two options, and neither of those options make us feel good. So here's our thought. Someone's everyday normal is someone else's extraordinary. Judgment comes from first impressions, and we invite you, the listener, to go beyond first impressions and see the magic everywhere. There's inspiration at every corner, in everyone, if we're willing to look. And today we are here with Doreen. So welcome, Doreen. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you. First of all, I love what you girls are doing. Let me just tell you, it's deep in my heart. I haven't done an official kind of a bio introduction in about 3 years since I let go of Women Empowering Women. So I am right there with you guys. But my name is Doreen Dilger. I am a mixed media artist. I'm an author. I am a grandmother of 5. I am a dog mom and married to a contractor who is busy trying to help create our wealth and look for retirement. But I do own a business called the Cozy and Charming Traveler, which is still in the startup phase since I've let go of Women Empowering Women. But I too have been a business coach, life coach, networking women, trying to get women together to educate, to empower, and to support women on their path. So I absolutely love what you ladies are doing. I think that it's so important, and I am so happy to be here. So thank you for including me.
Thank you for being here. We are so excited. I know we've played back and forth with scheduling because we had some things going on. So I am so happy it worked out. So Doreen, if we really knew you, what would we know?
Let's see, if you really knew me, you would know that laughter is big for me, that I am an animal lover. I have a little puppy right now that is at my feet trying to get my attention. I am someone who loves to support other women, men too, but mainly women. On my own journey now. I turned 60 last June, and I am in a whole new journey where I am trying to support my daughter. So my daughter has a property management business. I gave her that business, a very long time ago. And when I started Women Empowering Women, and since I've let that go, it's been about 3 years now, I have been helping her. So I'm trying to find my groove while I am helping her. So, we got 5 grandkids and just trying to help her do what she can do, helping her with the business, picking up the mail, doing deposits, doing her website stuff, all that type of stuff. But I'm also helping with my grandkids, taking them to activities and really having fun learning through them, their eyes, their experiences. It really makes life interesting for me. So just trying to capture that and finding a way to reward that. And the people that know me that I am a big junk journal planner girl. If you know what scrapbooking is, then I kind of take that to the next level. So it's taking a kind of like a planner, something that you would create, and then you kind of put your pictures into it and you tell your story. So that's what I'm doing right now. So if people knew me, that's what I'm all about.
It's a
Ooh, I
beautiful
love
idea.
it.
Yeah, I was gonna say just to because you know, like picture albums are like, yeah, okay, it takes time, but if you just take one picture, like, and put it in a book and write something about it, how cool! What a great idea! Awesome.
Yeah. I've been
Awesome.
having a lot of fun doing that. I think that goes with the cozy and charming traveler. So, letting go of women empowering women, it was like, okay, what am I going to do next? And my husband and I are traveling, just like Christina was talking earlier about traveling. We are now traveling ourselves and trying to get that story into, a book that actually my grandkids are, as soon as they come over, they're looking for my books to go through the pictures because a lot of it includes them as well. And just trying to learn how to tell that story and, just having fun with it.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love it on so many levels because there's the creativity that you're bringing into the manifesting part of what you're creating, right? Which is beautiful. But I also love that you're teaching your grandchildren that life's about these experiences, right? It's not about attaining wealth and things, but it's about these wonderful times we have together. And then they get to look back on these beautiful books you're creating and see themselves in it. And that's really a lovely thought. And so, yay, I love it. Love it.
Thank you.
All
Well, and
right.
then teaching them to be creative as well, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that in itself is like
Yes.
such a gift, right? That they
Yes.
can, you know.
Yes. My daughter is a portrait artist. This is one of her paintings in the back of me, but she's a portrait artist and she likes to do all that stuff. So we have a lot of creativity in our family, and my grandkids are the same way. But my grandkids know that I like to, it doesn't matter. It's my husband, it's my friends, it doesn't matter. I like to laugh. And it's just, sometimes when, I might be around my family or I might be with my grandkids, and all of a sudden, the mood is just getting kind of whatever. And I'm the type of person that will go, what's going on? All right, what are we going to smile about? You know what I mean? So I like to change that channel really quick with them because life is too short, and I've been trying to get to this podcast. I've had so many events happen that it just reminds you that life is too short. You need to laugh, stop worrying about all the other little stuff, and just have fun. So that's what I'm trying to, enlist in with my grandkids, anyone that I am in, it's always about changing that channel and laughing. Soon as it starts doing something else, it's like I am right there, like about to change it. Okay, what's next? Let's talk about something nice.
Beautiful. Somebody was saying today, just saying the word bubble. You
Yeah.
cannot be serious when you say the word bubble. And I'm
Yeah.
like, really? Is that true? And it's like, I don't know, maybe it's worth a try, right? Just say bubble.
Yeah, and I think that, our the way that we share our everyday with people, life is heavy right now for a lot of different people. It doesn't mean that we have to be so serious all the time and we can't have joy in our life. It's just about changing that just a moment, or being silly or doing something. My kids might argue, my grandkids might argue while we're going to a game or whatever, and I will put down all the windows and just let all the air come in, and they're like, what's going on, what's going on? Just things like that, turning up the music, or
Yep.
you know
5 minute dance party.
yeah, exactly. So I think that that's, what my friends like and what my family likes, and it's just me being kooky, I guess.
I love it. Well, let's follow that theme and tell us a silly, funny, or embarrassing story about yourself.
Oh my goodness. If I had to put all three of them together, it would be I have anxiety. I have anxiety for the weirdest things. Well, I used to have anxiety getting on an airplane, but since I've done that so many times, I'm kind of comfortable with that now. But when I get a cold and I can't breathe, I get these weird panic attacks. And it is just so funny because I have to get up, I have to walk, and I sit there and I talk to myself and I go, "Wait a minute. You were a successful business coach, a successful life coach, you're a mom and a grandma, you could do all this. Why are we having this panic attack, or why are we having this anxiety?" And I have to laugh at myself all the time. And that's what kind of gets me out of it, because it's like, okay, what are we doing here? This is silly, like, or going to the dentist or whatever. It's just the weirdest thing. It's a silly thing. I mean, it's not silly for a lot of people, and it's not silly. I had to go to the hospital one time because I was in a panic attack. First time that ever happened to me, and I don't know. I just find that that is the silliest thing for me that I think is funny at the same time. I don't know. For me, that's how I feel about it, that there's no reason why I should be having this type of anxiety. And I've dealt with it all my life. And yeah, I don't know. I think that that is the one thing that I find is embarrassing and silly and just me at the same time.
I can totally relate to this conversation because I've had severe anxiety and panic attacks since I was a little kid, but coupled with severe asthma. So then I would trigger asthma attacks and then wind up going to the hospital over like tests at school, or I forgot my gym clothes and I think I'm going to get in trouble and cause a panic attack and then asthma attack and off to the hospital again. And so I can relate to it. But then, then I became a massage therapist. So now I have way more tools, but you can still catch yourself in it. And it is, you always laugh at yourself. Like, I know better intellectually. I should be able to deal with this better, but we're
Yeah.
also human and, you know.
Yeah. I've realized now that, generally when that happens, I've got a lot going on. My mind is just racing. I really need to, take a step back, doing the art. I too have, my crystals and my cards and, I do all that type of stuff too. I'm certified in Reiki and a long list of spiritual type stuff. I like to, educate myself and indulge in that. And yeah, when I get too much into my head, which I think is for me being on this journey, I have been able to, let a lot go and spend more time being present, like going outside and just sitting outside and watching the birds. I like to feed my birds, watching the birds or just being outside and just experiencing, the trees blowing and, watching the clouds. I think it's helped me right now in this journey to slow down, appreciate, be present as much as I possibly can. So yeah, just that reminder.
Good stuff.
Mm.
And it is having to be mindful that your mind doesn't run away with you, right? Because it's not real in a way. Most of the times, like there's no tiger attacking you, your life is not in jeopardy. Most of the times. I think there are some times where it is, but most of the times it isn't, right? So it's the settling ourselves and and our whole nervous system gets rattled and our breathing gets shallow and like all of it, right? So it's I think it's cool that you found strategies to talk yourself down from it because it's so important, right? It's
Yeah.
like really in the grand scheme of things, what is this, right?
Mm.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
deep breath.
I think it's important. Yeah, it's very important too. I think everyone has to find their own individual way of working through it. I am not someone who takes any type of medication. Um, it's funny now when you turn 60 how many doctor's appointments you got to go to and get the checkups, and everyone will ask you what medication you're on. I'm not on any medication. They'll go like, wait a minute, let me just stop. What medications are you taking? I am not taking any medications. And the doctors want you to do that, but I also work with a naturopathic doctor as well as massage therapists. All you have to have a team of people to help you accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, or to feel comfortable in your own skin, or to just be you. So I think that that has a lot to do with it, and it has the individual person has got to make those choices for themselves.
Absolutely. And it shifts during your lifetime too, what that balance is, right? So it's the most frustrating thing for my clients because they'll be like, Christina, what works for you? And I'm like, I can tell you what works for me. That doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna work for you.
Right.
You have to figure out what it is. Like maybe 3 days of yoga is great for me. You may need one, you may need five, you may need, so it changes at different points in your life. Some points I need more acupuncture, certain points I need less.
Yeah.
But all of that comes in trusting your intuition and your listening to your body and all of that cues. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if you looked at my life 5 years ago, I mean, running Women Empowering Women, I had a 3,000 square foot co-working space. I mean, I had a lot of the ladies coming in and doing events, so I was able to take part of that. But I'm a go-getter, so there were constantly events going on. I was there early morning, late night. There was, you got marketing, you got to run your business, you're doing videos, you're doing your marketing. There's a lot of stuff to it. So yes, it looks totally different. And I think, chatting with women who are in their 60s and beyond, it's interesting how they have their own challenges. I'm not saying that I don't have, I'm learning a whole new thing. I'm learning to step back and try to be present and try to do the things that I want to do, and saying no to stuff so that I can sit here and craft for a moment, and making that a priority. So it is a different change. It's a different journey, and I absolutely love it right now. So I think it's important.
It definitely comes through. And the other thing that I loved is like, yeah, it's never just one thing that might help you, right? I find that it's a combination usually, right? And in one moment something might be better and another something else. So it's not like this is the modality that you have to follow, but it's just like, as Christina said, just following your gut, right? It's like, okay, today is just sitting on my gong and playing my gong for 20 minutes, half an hour, however long it takes until I'm settled enough, right? And then another day it might be doing yoga. Another day might be doing, whatever it is, playing with essential oils, right? It's absolutely, absolutely. So tell us about the time when you took a chance for love. And it doesn't have to be necessarily romantic love.
Well, let's see. I think that I am the type of person that takes chances all the time. I am someone who jumps. I don't put too much time into thinking about, hey, should I do this? Should I do if my body, my intuition is telling me that I'm excited and I want to do this, I am going to jump for it and I'm going to do it. So um, I guess one of the most profound ones that I can relate to was my neighbor is he's a dog breeder. He breeds golden retrievers. And he asked me to watch his dogs when he went away for a weekend. And I said, sure. And we had a mommy that was pregnant and she gave birth while he was away. And out came puppies, and there was one, and I was watching, and at the time the dog I thought I don't know, it tried to nip her or something, and I was like, my instinct was like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? And I pulled the dog away, called my daughter to say, hey, can you come help me, because she's been around dogs that have given birth. So she got there. The next dog that came out, she ate that dog, and then she ate the dog after that. And I was like, and I didn't realize at the time, but the dog that she nipped at and I took away could not clasp onto her. So she could not drink any milk. So I couldn't just leave her there. So I took her and I fed her every 2 hours. She ended up becoming my dog. We had to put her down just a couple months ago because she wasn't fully developed, but I had her for 4 years. Just a wonderful dog. We did everything we could to save her, but that's what you do for love. So she was just a beautiful dog. And my husband and I just recently we got a new puppy, a smaller dog. And we realized that the energy in the house was it's not the same. And my husband was like, after that, was like, no more dogs. That's it. We're done. And both of us crying like day after day because we're missing her. I've actually got a shrine over here on my back where I have all my candles and, crystals and stuff. And he said to me, he goes, I think we need to get a dog. And that day, it was New Year's Day. We call her Charlie. So we got Charlie. Yeah.
We can relate. Martina's little guy is probably sitting in space with her at the moment.
Yeah.
And Nick and I lost our husky last June, and literally we carried her around for the last few months because she couldn't walk anymore. So believe me, you don't have to talk. We understand what the power of pets bring to your world for sure.
Yeah. So Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Unconditional love. And they
But they
teach us it's
bring you
like,
so much joy, you know, and coming home and having that space and their own energy. And now we have Charlie, who is, what kind of dog is she? Oh my God, I can't even, she's lost my, she's a little
mhm.
dog. She's a Shih Tzu mixed with a poodle. So she's a shoe or something like that. I don't know what it is, but she's a little dog. She's only 7 pounds. And we wanted to get a little dog because we travel and we're like, oh, we want to bring her with us this time and see what we can do. So that's the goal. We'll see how that goes.
Martina has a cockapoo, so yes.
That's awesome. I just love dogs.
hmm We're thinking about a Pomsky next, but
No.
they can often be pretty big. Like compare, like we had a 30-pound husky, so Pomskys are from like 25 to like 40 pounds, so they could still be just as big as our husky was. So I don't know. Still thinking about our next dog.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck on that.
Yeah, we'll see. First, I told Nick we have to move in together, so we'll see how that works out.
Oh, there you go.
All right. What would you say your superpower is, Doreen?
Hmm. Before, when I had Women Empower Women, I used to say my superpower was that I was a woman. Because I was, you know, I was there to empower and support and educate. I think now my superpower really is just being in the space and including the people that are within that room, you know, listening and reading that energy and helping it to, I don't know, reflect me. I don't know if that makes sense, but I am now at a point where I quickly can say, you know what, this is not the space for me, or this is not the journey I should be on, or this is not what I want in my life right now. And that has been so enlightening for me. You know, a person that, you know, go-getter and, you know, meeting with so many people and networking. I don't even want to get into networking right now. I just want my energies to be around, you know, the people and the places that I want to be around. So I think that that has been my superpower right now, is to really listen to that. So I guess it might be my intuition, is listening to my intuition and moving forward with that. And I'm going to tell you a freaky story on that one. I had my granddaughter in, had to bring her to home, and she usually sits on the left side in the back seat. This time she moved to the right side in the back seat. And as I was leaving, I went out of my street and I'm coming down the street, and this car was going so fast that it turned in front of me and I had to slam on my brakes, and my car went to the side. It went side because I put on my brakes so fast. But the interesting thing is that before I got down to my street to turn onto that main road, I had a feeling that there was a speeding car and I needed to pay attention. And if I did not have that, I probably would have been going a little bit faster, and that vehicle would have hit me on that left side where she was sitting. And it was like, and I was, you know, upset about that, but I was more like, oh my goodness, is this what it is to listen to your intuition? I'm like, and all the way home, I was like, thank you, thank you. I want more of this, and really paying attention to that. And then now it seems like I am listening a whole lot. I got goosebumps right now talking about, I am listening a whole lot more, and I love that I can hear it this time.
Powerful stuff. Yeah.
Beautiful. I also would say that your superpower is your, I don't know, it's humor definitely, but there is a passion there as well.
Say passion. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
which
Thank you.
is really, really beautiful to, really beautiful to watch. So,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
so what made you who you are today? For example, what was your biggest lesson, or what took the most courage, or when did you stand up for something that mattered?
Let's see. I think my biggest lesson in everything has been patience for me. I am, like I said, I'm a go-getter. I want to get out there. I want to get the results. I want to do everything. And I have always, I've always jumped. So when I first started my own business, I started doing business and secretarial services. Started long before my kids got in, and that's how I got into networking. And then, life happened. I have my children. I went back into corporate. It was short-lived into corporate when I realized that it was actually after my mom had passed away. Life is short. I don't know if this is what I want to do. Went back into doing the business and secretarial services. Quickly found myself uh, working for or helping an individual who had a property management company. He wanted to sell his property management company. I worked for him for about a year, and he was going to sell it. He wanted too much money for it. And I'm like, listen, I know that you're going to sell it, and I know I've been helping you, but I think it's time for me to go back to my own business and really concentrate on that, because you're going to be leaving. And when I did that, the board members that I was helping asked me to, you got to do something. They were calling me up going, you got to do something. You can't just walk away. Why don't you start your own property management business? And I'm like, can I do that? And off I went, and I started a property management company, and quickly I was successful. And when I was networking, I had a lot of women who would ask me, well, how did you do that? And how are you so successful? And can you teach me? And I used to say that that's the kind of like the tap on the shoulder, you know what I mean? That's the thing. You got to listen to it, because if you don't, it's going to slap you in the face, right? So the tap on the shoulder, and I'm like, what can I do with this? And that's when I started Women Empowering Women Networking, and that's when I got certified in business coaching, and I just took it the next level. And then I gave, my daughter was having children, and by the time that she had my granddaughter, I had given her the business so she can take over. And she's a mini me, so she has tripled that business and keeps doing really good. So I think that the lesson in all that is to, number one, have patience. Number two is to, again, listen to your intuition when those opportunities come up, is to, jump at that and pay attention to that. Why is it demonstrating in front of me? There's a reason for that, and why not go off of that? And a lot of good things have happened on that. I mean, my husband I was just dating him at the time. I had been divorced, and he got into the property management, and he was doing all kinds of constructions and emergency calls, and he's been doing this now for almost 20 years. And we're growing our own real estate empire type thing. He keeps buying condos left and right, and we're becoming our own property managers. So I think it's just really listening to what you want and going after that, and just having fun doing it, because there's so much that you got to do. And again, you could follow anybody that you want to, but you have to understand what you like to do, what you need to do, what is your personality. It's just like, when you're doing the podcast, there are certain questions that you want to ask, and you just kind of say, hey, here are some of the questions. I used to do that when I, when I was doing business coaching, and I would give them the questions ahead of time. And then I realized that there's a lot of scripted answers on it. So I didn't give them the questions ahead of time. I waited until I got in front of them, or we had a Zoom call, and I wanted to see their expression. I wanted to see where they're really at in their, their journey, because everybody wants to shine bright, and they want to be like, hey, yes, I am, I'm valuable. I want to be heard, I'm doing good. But in order to really, to empower people and to educate people, is you have to find out where you're at and what you like and what you don't like, and how to create that with the tools that you have, and how to get to that next step. So yeah, I don't know, that I kind of was all over the place with that question, so I'm sorry.
Perfect. Perfect. So, Doreen, what fills you up? What recharges your batteries and gives you the energy to keep on doing all this amazing stuff you do?
Well, I think when life gets too busy for me, I like to, my favorite word is putz. I like to take a day where I don't have anything on my calendar and I'm able to do a little bit of mixed media, do a little bit of crafting, get into doing some journaling. I mean, I journal every single day. I'm a big planner girl, so I'm in that every day. But I think for me, it is when I am off track, I need to get back on track. So it's having my morning routine, my night routine, making sure that I get on my treadmill. Obviously I need to lose some weight, not obviously, but I need to lose some weight, but I'm not all for oh, I need to, cut out all this and I got to run this and do that. I'm doing it at my own pace. And I think that it's important for me to pay attention to that. And that's what fills me up. And when I'm really down, it's being silly with my grandkids, it's my grandkids want to come and sleep over all the time. And it's hard because all three of them, I have two that are under 6 months, but all three of them want my time because I play with them, we'll play cars or we'll color or we'll do crafts or, we're wrestling or, we're watching TV or something, we're doing something that they love doing. And it's very hard for them because all three of them want my attention. So it really depends on the day, but it is mainly doing what I want to do and having fun doing that.
I love that answer. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Recharging our batteries and just taking a day off.
Yeah, it's important, I think. And I mean,
And playing, right? Playing.
Playing, exactly. And I think that a lot of us, when we're in business or, we have young families, it's hard. I see that in my daughter all the time. And, I tell her, you need to go and go play, go do something, because she's an entrepreneur. She's working hard. She loves her business. And there are times when it's like, you just need to get out of the house, go to a movie, go get your hair done, go get your nails done, go get a massage, go do something. This is why I'm here, to help you. And I think that that is important. And, the people that are around me, they know that, listen, if you have something going on, just pick up the phone and call me. I'll be there. I have, friends that I house sit or I take care of their animals or whatever. I do what I can do. I can't do it all the time, but I try to do that because that's what it's about. You need that village to, help you out. And when you can't have that village, and there are times when I didn't have that village, it could be just going to bed, 20 minutes earlier or taking a soaking bath or, putting on meditative music or doing yoga in your living room. Something that can just fill your cup up a little bit or give you a little bit more energy is important.
Beautiful. Thank you. So, who or what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, if you could be anything or anyone, what would that be and why? Like, so there's no restrictions of time, there's no restrictions of money, there's no restrictions or limitations.
I love that. I love that question. And these are some of the questions I used to ask my clients. And it's funny when you have it on your end. I don't know. I think that in my life, my entrepreneurial journey has always been about having time and freedom. That was always the most important because I want that flexibility to do what I need to do. Money always came with the things that you love, that always comes around. My husband and I were just talking about that this morning, that, there was times when we struggled. There was, early in our relationship, we did not, we had it bad but we had fun, we had a lot of laughs during that time. So what do I want to be when I grow up? I just want to be passionate. I want to be caring and I want to be present for the people that are around me.
Yeah.
I know that that's not maybe the answer you want, but there's not a career that I want because I've already done many, many different businesses. I've helped so many different women, even to this day, they'll call me up and I'm like, oh, if you told me to do that and I didn't do that, I should have done that. Or I'm so happy that I got my first book out or I made my first, whatever, whatever the results are. It's nice to hear that, you help those people. I'm in a space right now that I don't know what my future is going to be. I am kind of, I take it day by day, really. By now, I'm like, hey, what's gonna happen today? And I have no agenda. It's like, when I wake up, it's like, okay, well, what do I want to work on? Now, I don't have this every day. There are, I have appointments and, I've got my grandkids to take care of. I got to go pick up the mail or, do some stuff for my daughter. But there are days when I get to be like, hey, well, what do I want to do today? What meal do I want to make or what do I want to bake? Because my husband looks forward to like, okay, what'd you make today? What'd you bake today? Um, so I think that is where I'm at. I'm at the journey. I don't know what the future is going to be. I am excited that I am on this journey. I am so grateful to be here at 60 years old and being part of this type of stuff and talking with other women and being inspired with just on what you do and helping other women to get out there and be who they want to be. I think that that's just so important, especially in right now, everything that's going on in the world, and it is just so heavy, and I don't know, just laughing at that. So
Yeah.
It
That's
is,
good stuff.
it is so incredibly powerful, right? Because I remember watching this movie where with my kids, so it's like a teeny movie, and she's writing her college application, and one of the questions was like, what do you want to be when you grow up, or something like that. And she's like, well, what, I'm not sure, but I can tell you who I want to be.
yeah,
I want to be my mom's love. I want to be my dad's pride. I want to be my best friend's laughter, right? So it's like, wow, yeah, like that, right? That is so
Yeah. Well,
precious.
yeah. And in a world where most people aren't very present when we're with them, who's on their phones and chatting or texting and
yep,
or paying attention to some crazy news alert they just read. And so, yeah, like how amazing to just be present with the people you love and care for. Like,
yep.
mhm.
And also to help them and be that reminder that, okay, daddy wants your attention for 5 minutes, so daddy should put down the phone or mommy, just those little things. Because,
Yeah.
when I look back at the stages of my life, it's interesting to be we're on a different, I was on a different journey. There were things that were a little bit more important or things that I couldn't do, or, I had to work, I had to bring in money, I needed to do this. So I think I have the opportunity now where I don't need to stress about, financials right now. And I have the opportunity to go out there and, take my grandkids to their practices and watch their games, or I try not to be available for their games. I will if the parents are available, because if I say that I'm available, then they'll have something else to do. So I make sure that I'm not available so I make them go, because it's so important. I was always there for my kids, and their games and stuff. And I think it's those moments that, those memories that they want to remember. I mean, when you think about your life and the memories, it's not about, hey, I had this awesome car or this big house, or, it's none of that stuff. It's, oh, I laughed at this, or we went here. And it's those type of opportunities or memories that are just so important, that just, fill your heart and you want to continue to have more. And I think it's my goal right now is to make sure that I get that for my grandkids and, shape them a little bit for that, because mommy and daddy are, extremely busy right now. So having that, and, they want to be part of that. It's hard because like next weekend, I won't be able to have them over, and they're already depressed and wanting to come over. And they're like, well, why can't we sleep over? Why, because usually I have I have my youngest one on Thursday, and then I have my oldest one on Friday, and then I take the second oldest one over on Saturday. So, they're all like, well, why can't we do that? So, but I think
Love it.
that it's a great compliment, you know, for me to be like, oh, well, I'm glad that they want me. I'm like, but grandma needs a break too. They
Right.
don't
And
understand.
it's good for them to learn that too, right? And then they appreciate it more when they do get to come over when
Yes.
it's a little more special that way. So it's good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So Doreen, if you had a magic wand and could give people any quality, what would you
Mm.
give them and why?
It's so funny. I used to ask all these questions. I think it would be for people to have compassion. I think we're in such a rat race that we're all trying to get something done. And, you know, I've only got so many hours in the day and got to get this done and got to get that done, where we can just have that compassion for other people, because, you know, people are out there. We don't know what people are going through. And, you know, there's so many people that are getting so upset over the littlest things. You know, something that just happened 2 days ago. My husband went to one of his apartments, and he went to get into his truck, and he can see down the street that people are slowing down and just looking. And then he saw a guy with a knife, and a woman is on the ground. Nobody's stopping and doing anything. So he got into his truck and went down to the spot, got out of the truck, got the guy off of the girl, and then the guy took off. His son was with him, so he called the police. You know, he took off a sweatshirt for the woman because she was practically naked. Um, and it's like people are not stopping to help this poor woman. You know, she's in stable condition. She's going to make it. She's only 25 years old. She's got young kids. And it's just that's the type of thing that, you know, we're such in a world right now that people don't have that compassion, or they're afraid to step in, or they're afraid to, you know, speak up. And I get it, but at the same time, we're talking about a life right here, you know. And I think that if people have more compassion where people are at, I think it would help a lot of people.
Yeah.
I believe there is a lot of fear, right?
Yeah.
It is a lot of fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Which is part of life, I guess, but it's a lesson that we all have to learn, you know, that fear. I mean, when I talk to people, I say, oh, I'm an introvert, and people look at me and go, you are not an introvert. I'm like, I am an introvert. I prefer to be by myself. I re-energize by myself. Yes, I can be an extrovert. I had to get out there when I'm in networking or I'm in a group. I'm like, I'm on. Okay, let's have some fun. What are we doing? I can do all that. But as soon as that's done, I've got to step back and re-energize and, get there. So I think it's important to reflect and,
Yeah.
just, yeah, I don't know.
I also think a lot of people walk around thinking they can't make a difference, right? Like, oh, I'm just one person. I can't make a difference, so why bother, right? But one person can make a difference. And you
Mhm.
get a bunch of people doing then to make a bigger difference, right? And so, yeah.
I
Hmm.
think that a lot of people don't know that they make a difference. And I can tell you that and I shared a little bit of this, but after 3 years of letting women empowering women go, I will still run across somebody and they'll be like, oh my God, you taught me this, or, you were such having those networking meetings, or, you said this, or you talked about this subject was so important. Then you don't realize the impact that you have. And you don't need a group of people, or, a community, a big community, to make that impact. That impact can be just on your family. And, a lot of times it's when somebody dies that we talk about, oh, she did this or he did that, or this was important. It's important to reflect that now. This is why, I like to do a lot of journaling, or I like to do the scrapbooking type thing, so that I can reflect my feelings, and, it's posted. And because it's important to, and I'll share this little story with you. I'm a big journaler. I've always been journaling. When I got divorced, I wrote down what I wanted. And this kind of can be manifesting, but I wrote down what I wanted in my next husband. And wouldn't you know that my next husband has all those items? I still have that notebook and those items. And it's like, this is my husband. This is Clive right here. That's it. It's just fascinating to I don't know. I just think it, I'm in awe of that, the energy and all that stuff that could just happen. You know what I mean? I think it is, it's amazing when you can sit still enough and listen and pay attention to all that, that it just comes reflecting right back to you.
Yes. So last question. What are you most proud of? What do you consider your biggest accomplishment?
My biggest accomplishment. I want to say that my biggest accomplishment is having my two children able to take care of themselves. There are so many people out there that I see, especially in my own personal family, that the parent is still helping adult children pay bills or do stuff. And my two adult children have their own business, have their own home, having their own family, taking care of their family, very independent, especially my daughter is a very independent go-getter. So I think that is probably my biggest accomplishment, that I helped to grow two strong individual people.
Mm. And the ripples that creates, right? Like then they're creating.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
beautiful
I can't
stuff.
wait to see what, when my grandkids get older, what they're going to do or what they're going to be, or, I just can't wait to see that. It's
Yeah,
going to be interesting. Yeah.
it's so good. Because then they have empowered parents and empowered grandma and in their corner. So it's
Yeah.
pretty cool
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. It is
Mm-mm-mm.
very cool.
So Doreen, do you want to tell us about your business that you're building right now? Your cozy and charming traveler? Are you at that stage where you can chat about it or?
Well, I am in kind of this still the startup phase of it, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to create a business that I can help people tell their own story. So we're out there. I mean, it is part of my travels. I thought, oh, maybe I can give some travel tips, because I'm always been educating or helping, somebody with something. I thought that was going to be it, or maybe help them get their trip together. And I'm like, no, I don't kind of like that. But the one thing that I like to do is doing, my junk journals and telling that story and being able to do that. And so that's where I am leading to. I don't know if I'm going to get into like selling ephemera packs and stuff like that. I do that with, there are two events, local events that I do, that my girlfriend holds. That's local. It's just kind of like one is a pickle fest, and I set up and I sell ephemera, and I do some mixed media stuff, and I sell some prints and stuff like that. So, and I do the blind date with a book with I make my own bookmarks and stuff like that. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm selling on there. Is that the way that I'm going? I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm just having fun doing. I mean, my husband takes great pictures. We thought about maybe we're going to do pictures. I've done a couple of blog posts on it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into, the posting everything, the whole social media, marketing. I don't know if I want to get into any of all that. I
I
don't
hear
know. You know.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So we'll have to stay tuned to see what
Yeah.
Dorian creates next.
Well,
I
but
mean,
And
I do have a website on it, and it's up there. And again, you have to, well, I have to do it because, I need a business that you do the deductibles type of thing, right? So I know that that's important because my husband's self-employed as well. So we need to have that, to, balance all that stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just fun to kind of be in the mix of it right now.
and create,
awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But like as Christina said, we're gonna have to stay tuned. But how can people find you to follow you and stay tuned?
I am my name, Doreen Dilger. You can find me on my website. I am on Instagram, Facebook. I am on TikTok. I don't post a whole lot, but most of my crafting stuff is on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my website there. So yeah.
Awesome.
And the website is your name as well, or?
Yep, DoreenDilger.com. I also have the Cozy and Charming Traveler, but you can get from one to the other. So yeah, it's easier just with my name. So
Cool. So we'll include that with the notes. So if people want to follow along and follow your journey, they can do that.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Doreen, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for bringing your passion and your energy and your zest for life to our podcast today. I just had a blast with you today. Thank you everyone for listening. If you loved it, please leave us a review. Please share with your friends. And please always remember that you are extraordinary and you rock. Until next time, have a wonderful day.
Bye for now.
Thank
Doreen,
you.
do you want to say bye?
Thank you.